How you going, guys? My name's Jesse. I graduated from Coding Bootcamp in December 2021, and I've been a full-time developer since January. And today I just wanted to share my thoughts with you about, is it too late to do a coding bootcamp in 2022 and things along that. So to quickly answer your question, is it too late to do a coding bootcamp in 2022? No, but only if you're willing to do more than the minimum. So let me explain. I would say the minimum is that you simply just go to the bootcamp and then apply to jobs on LinkedIn, Seek, and things like that. If you do that and you don't have a super impressive resume or like a background in tech or anything, I'd say that you're really going to struggle to find a job, and most likely you probably won't land one. Yeah, sure, there are lots of jobs for programmers, junior programmers, and things like that. I think like these jobs, they're not really junior developer jobs. Like if you look at the descriptions, they require years of experience, this language, that language, and they're just going to screen you out just solely based on that you don't meet their requirements that probably some dude in HR has made that has no idea what they're talking about and what they actually need on the job. Now that I'm kind of like in the field, I really notice how these like boot camps are like trying to sell you a dream. And there's nothing really wrong with that. I just want to like clarify, what's fact, what's fiction. For example, out of my class, there's maybe like 15 people. Out of all these, I know that 4 people have 100% landed a job. So being me, 2 other people were women that had like those coding like internships and things like that specifically for girls. And then another guy, this guy was a freak. He already had a degree in IT, or I think he was like close to finishing it and he dropped out because he just wanted to do coding. And this guy was a machine. And me and him actually competed for like one job, and like he shit on me and he got the job. But I was close. I would say if he didn't do the challenge before me, I maybe would have got it. I know that I got a job because I was willing to do things that the ordinary people weren't willing to do, which I will explain soon. But first, I want to clarify something. Do I think that coding bootcamps are a scam? No, definitely not. However, I do think they really are trying to sell you a dream. And just for clarity, I'm talking about these 2 to 3 month long ones, not the like 1 year, 6 month ones. I think those are probably really legit, and that if you can and you have the time and you can afford it, you should really go down that route. Like if you think that you're going to become a software engineer and like work at Google or something like that after these 8 to 10 week long courses, like you're dreaming. At most you'll become is a web developer. Now that I'm kind of in the industry, I really see you cannot become confident at pretty much anything really from 8 to 10 weeks. Like you definitely need more. Now that I'm in it, I see like that you really need years and years of like grinding at this to become somewhat decent. Right now, like I am totally useless and I feel useless and completely out of my depth all the time, which apparently is normal as a junior. So like don't stress on that. But you will have a decent foundation to start on. So don't stress about that. But I'll touch on how I feel and like what it's like to be a junior fresh out of boot camp in a future video. So back to the original question. What did I do to get a job personally? A big background on me. I have a background in like e-commerce and dropshipping and a bit of advertising and things like that. Not from like a degree or anything, just like self-taught. And I was running like a small agency for a bit, so I had a few clients. What I did was I emailed all the agencies around me that were into like web development and like e-commerce and things like that. And I said that I'm a fresh graduate. I really love e-commerce and web development and like websites and things like that. And I was super passionate. I spoke a little bit about what I did. And then I finished off the email saying like, if you're interested, I would love to send you over my resume. And then, these people loved it, man. I got so many replies. I had a heap of interviews. Like the place that I ended up getting a job that loved the fact that I reached out to them. They loved that I was super enthusiastic and that I reached out to them and like I was proactive. They were eating it up. Another thing I did was actually look for job postings on LinkedIn, try and find the person who posted the ad and then talk to them specifically. So, I would say the same thing. I'd be like, I'm a fresh graduate. I know I don't have too much to offer, but I can promise that I'll get along with the team. I'll bring really good energy. I'm keen to learn. I'll take criticism really well. So I was trading on the fact that like I knew I was kind of like a people person as opposed to how much I knew in tech. But like the thing is that you have to be able to like back this up. And I knew I could because I had multiple businesses, like not multiple, but I had like a lot of case studies and like websites and Shopify stores and things like that I could show off. And like in the interviews, I spent a lot of time working on like my social charisma and things like that. So I could, prove that I was a sociable person and I wasn't going to get angry or like not get along with people and things like that. So the thing is, like, you have to be able to back up what you're saying. So like the lesson here that I want to get across is like, it's not too late to do a bootcamp in 2022, but you really have to be willing to do more than the minimum, which is, just cruise through the bootcamp, apply on LinkedIn or Seek or whatever, and then think you're going to get a job. Like, sorry to burst your bubble, but I don't think it's going to happen. So just before I finish off this video, I just want to share 2 quick stories that will kind of like tie up this video nicely and leave you with a nice kind of message at the end. There's a story of 2 people. In my final project, there was me, the other guy who got hired, the one that went to university, did the IT degree, and there was this other fella. So after our final project, I messaged him like after Christmas or whatever. I'd be like, hey man, because we finished up in December, how's the job grind and things like that? You're applying for jobs? And he's like, no, I haven't started applying yet. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So it gets to like kind of like later January. By then, at this point, I've already landed a job. So I'm like, hey man, you started applying for jobs? And he's like, oh, I've only applied like in the last couple of days. And it's getting towards the end of January. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, you should be applying ASAP. Like, I was applying for jobs before I even finished the course. During our final weeks, I was making my resume and I was applying for jobs and chatting to people on LinkedIn. If you're just willing to do like more than the minimum, like you're fine. I think the bad like kind of like mindset or like reputation that is set is that people think they can just go in, do these boot camps, apply for LinkedIn, and then they're chilling, when it's not really like that at all. And here's another story. So I saw this guy like on the news or in the newspaper or something, and he was a recent graduate architecture student. He couldn't find a job for months. So, he'd be applying on LinkedIn and Seek and all this and that for months. So one day he was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to the busiest train station around our city. And what he did was he had a sign, and he dressed up nicely in like a suit and everything, and he had a sign that says, I'm a recent graduate, here's me on LinkedIn, this is what I've done, I'm looking for a job. And this guy got a job in like a week. And like the employer that employed him like loved it that he was willing to put himself on the line. So it's like kind of things like this that you can do to separate yourself from like the crowd, like you will find a job. But by being in the crowd, just doing the normal way, you're just gonna get screened out and then no one's gonna see you. Lesson is, do more than minimum and you'll be fine. So that'll do it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, I'm making this channel to kind of like share my story about development, about life advice, and the things that I kind of want to pass on. Leave a comment and I'll make a video about it. Cheers. Oh my god, making a YouTube video is nerve-wracking. Sheesh.